A little bit too much information there. All right. Since we haven't seen you guys since spring break, how was your spring break? Since last week was just a recorded session. Hopefully everything went okay. I mean, we did have uh, we did have a couple halfway decent days in there. Last week was pretty nice on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Those were some really nice days. Hopefully, you were able to get outside and enjoy the weather. I know I did. That was one of those things where it's like I always look at the weather for the week before I decide what I'm going to do, because it's like, okay, I know I have to do all this material, but I can always put it off until tomorrow or the next day if it's going to be nice out. Oh, solving systems of equations with more than one or with three variables. Yeah, didn't go so well for you, hey? One assessment is not going to hurt your grade. Um, all right, let's take a look at this week's assignment. I think you're going to find this one to be way easier. Yeah, yeah, you messed up. You messed up. It seemed like you got two of the numbers, and then the third one you really messed up. It's like, because I do remember, because you didn't turn it in until maybe yesterday or the day before, and I was a little surprised at it. But Friday, okay. All right. So this week, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be solving systems of equations of inequality, or not. We're going to be solving systems of inequalities. And the solution of a system of inequalities is just a shaded in region, because we're going to be solving by graphing. So what we're going to do is we're going to sketch the graph of an inequality, and then we're going to shade it in. I would highly recommend using different colors so you can see where the shaded in region is. And then all of the points in the region are solutions of the inequality. So all we have to do is find that the region where the shaded in region overlaps. So make sure that you remember that when we graph inequalities, that if it's a dash, if it's a less than or equal to sign or greater than equal, it's a solid line. And if it's a less than symbol or a greater than symbol, it's a dash line. I don't look too much for those. If that's the only thing they got wrong on an assessment is a solid or a dash line, I'm not too concerned. But you should know that they are solid. If it's less than or equal to or greater than equal to, it's a solid line. If it's just a less than symbol or a greater than symbol, it is a dash line. Now the practice for this week, it says graph the system of linear inequalities. Okay, so obviously it's multiple choice, so you have to choose which one of the graphs down at the bottom is the correct answer. Now, I don't, looking at the graphs really messes with my head, so usually I'll just do it off to the side and see if I can come up with the solution. And you don't have to have a perfect graph, and that's why doing it just a real quick sketch. I look at this and I say, okay, y is greater than 2x plus 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I know it's going to, and then slope of 2. So it's going to be something like that, and it's going to be everything greater than. So it's going to be everything shaded above the line. And then I would pick a different color, and I would go, okay, y is less than 2x minus 2. Okay, so 1, 2. Oh, the slopes are the same, so they're going to be parallel lines. And it's y is less than or equal to 2x minus, so less than, it's going to be everything shaded below here. So this system of equations really does not have any solutions when you think about it, because the solution is where the two graphs intersect, or where the shaded region crosses. Well, it's not going to cross ever. So, but it didn't even ask us that. It just said which one of the systems is the right one. So I'm going to go with letter B here. Well, I'll take that back. Yeah, I'm going to go with letter B. I'm looking at letter A, and it's like, oh, that looks pretty much the same, but it doesn't cross and -2 here. So this one, so letter B is the correct answer. Okay, and since it doesn't cross, there really isn't any solution to that problem at all. Okay, second practice problem, it says, graph the system of linear inequalities. Again, I can't just look at these graphs and tell what the answer is. So I'm just going to sketch it out. I'm going to use different colors. So, and it doesn't have to be a good sketch. Okay, so y is greater than 3x minus 2. Okay, so I know that it's going to, y-intercept's -2. The slope is 3. So my first equation is like this. No, you cannot. You cannot do the elimination method on this because it has an inequality in there. So we don't know, when you use the elimination method, you know, how do you know if it's a greater than or less than symbol that you should carry down? So really the only way to solve these is to graph them out. Yeah, so good question, but with the elimination method or the substitution method, it's not going to work because we don't know what y is equal to. We know what y is greater than, we know what y is less than, we don't know what it's equal to. So substitution wouldn't even work in a problem like this. So you do have to graph them out. So my first graph will look like this, and y is greater than, so I'm going to shade everything above the system. Then I'm going to get a different color, and then I'm going to graph this. Y is less than or equal to 1/2 x plus 3. So +3 starts up here someplace. I'm going to go, and it's negative, so down 1/2, down 1/2. So my graph is going to look something like this. And it's less than, so it's everything below the line. So I'm going to say that it's going to look, my solution is going to be everything in here. So this is the only graph right here that looks like mine. And again, I am not making perfect graphs out. I'm just making a real quick sketch because it helps me see what's happening in the problem. Okay, so the solution set is all of the points that are in here. These are all solutions. Everything in this shaded region is a solution to this system of equations. All right, this problem I want you guys to do. Okay, it says, which ordered pair is in the solution set of the following system of inequalities? Okay, so you guys tell me what you think the answer is going to be there. Okay, take a look at it. And there's different ways that you can solve this problem. I'll show you 2 different ways to solve it. And it doesn't really matter what way you do it. All right, any answers yet? All right, so here's two methods to solve this. First method, graph it out, okay? Now, since they're points, I'm going to have to graph a little bit more carefully, but I don't have to do it real careful. So plus 4, so y is less than 1/2 x plus 4, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go up 1 over 2, up 1 over, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. So it's going to look something like this. Very similar to that. Should be a dashed line though, shouldn't it? And it's less than, so it's going to be everything shaded below. Okay, so there's my first graph. Then I have y is greater than negative x plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to change colors here. Let's go red. So positive 1 is here, and then it's going to be negative, so it's going to look something like this. And it's going to be everything greater than that. So it's going to be, so this is my shaded region. Okay, so now I have to check out my points. So the first point, negative 5, 3. So negative 5, 3 would be up here someplace, right? Does not look like it's in the shaded region. 0, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's pretty close. But remember, this was a dotted line. So if it's a dotted line and the point lies on that line, it is not a solution. So that's not a solution. 3, negative 5. 1, 2, 3, negative 5. Looks like it's down here. 4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks like it's in the shaded region. Okay, so, but again, this is just a random sketch. So the second method I could use is plug the points in. It has to make both of the inequalities true in order for it to be a solution. So here I have negative 5, 3. So I put 3 in for y. So 3 is less than 1/2 times negative 5 plus 4. So 1/2 times negative 5, that's negative 2.5, isn't it? Plus 4, so that's 2.5. So 3 is less than 2.5. No, it's not. 3 is greater than 2.5. So it doesn't make this inequality true. It might make this one true, but it has to make both of them true. So right away, I know this point can't be a solution. So 0, 4. So let's try 0, 4. So I'm going to put 4 in for y. So 4 is equal to 1/2. Oops. 4 is less than 1/2 times 0 plus 4. So 4 is less than 4. 4 is not less than 4. So it doesn't work in the first inequality. So now let's try 3, negative 5. So I put negative 5 in for y. So negative 5 is less than 1/2 times 3 plus 4. So 1/2 times 3, that's 1.5. 1.5 plus 4 is 5.5. So negative 5 is less than 5.5. That is true. That's true. However, to work, it has to work in both of them. Well, the second equation is y is greater than or equal to negative x plus 1. So I put negative 5 in for y again. So negative 5 is greater than or equal to negative 3 plus 1. So negative 5 is greater than or equal to negative 2. That is not true. Negative 5 is not greater than negative 2. That doesn't work. So that is the second method you could use. You could just plug the point into each one of the inequalities. And if you plug 4 in here and 0, so that would be 0 is less than 1/2 times 4, that's 2 plus 4. So 0 is less than 6. That is true. And then if I put it in this one, 0 is greater than or equal to negative 4 plus 1. So 0 is greater than negative 3. That is true. So it makes both of the inequalities true. That is the second method that you could use. Now, which method do you think is easier? I think it's easier to graph them out, to tell you the truth. But, you know, some kids, they'd rather plug the points in. I don't care which way you do it. It makes no difference to me. I think graphing, to me, I'm a visual learner. I like to see what's happening. I can see that the point is inside the shaded region. The other one, obviously I can do it. It's just not the method I would use, but it makes no difference. So the answer should be 4 or letter D. Any questions on that? So those would be the two methods that you could use tonight to figure out if something is a solution or not. All right, let's try the next practice problem. Same type of problem. It says which pair is a solution to the following set of inequalities. Okay, so give it a shot. Again, it doesn't matter to me which way you go. All right. And I know it takes a little bit of time to make your sketch or plug the points in. But if I was, and I'll just start because I'm gonna do it the graphing method because again, I think it's an easier method to do because I can sketch them pretty quickly. So positive, and then slope is 2. So my first graph is going to look something like this. Is less than, so it's going to be everything below that line. And then -1, I'm going to change colors again. So -1 is about here, down 1/1. So my second line is going to look something like this. And it's going to be everything greater than. So it's going to look very similar to our last graph. 0, 3. 1, 2, 3 would be up here. Nope. 2, 0. 1, 2, 0. That definitely does look like it's in the shaded region. So I think this is my answer. So I'm going to check it. I'm going to just plug it in here. So 0 is less than 4 plus 2. So 0 is less than 6. That is true. And then I'm going to plug it into this one. So 0 is greater than -2 minus 1. 0 is greater than -3. Yeah, it works in this one. So I just checked my answer. I did it graphically, and then I plugged it in, and it worked in both the inequalities. So I know that has to be the correct answer. Okay. So that's two different ways of doing it, but I did it both ways. I did it graphically, and then I checked it by plugging the points in. Oh boy. Now it's a little bit tougher because I've got to rewrite this equation. So this is going to be 2y is greater than -4x plus 3, and then I'm going to divide through by 2. So y is greater than or equal to -2x plus 3 halves. Okay, so now I have two equations again. Two inequalities, sorry about that. Two inequalities. First one starts way at 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's way up here. Down 1/2. So that graph is way, okay, and that's less than, okay. And then -2x plus 3 halves, so that's 1.5 here. Down 2/1. Oh boy. This is going to be a crazy graph. And then everything greater, that's going to be everything inside here. Okay? So that does not really, I'm not sure this is going to help me, but it gives me a visual of what it's going to look like. So -4, 1 does not look like it would be in there at all. Okay. -2, 2, yeah, it might be, but it doesn't look like it's going to be. 1, -4 would be down here. That doesn't look like it's going to be in there. And then 2, -2, oh boy. That's the only one that, to me, looks like it would be right, but again, my graphs are so off, it's not even funny because you're way up at 13 here. That's a crazy number to be at. So I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to plug it in there. I'm going to plug 2. I'm going to plug negative. So this is -2 is less than or equal to 1/2 times 2, which is 1 plus 13. So -2 is less than 14. That is true. True. So then I'm going to plug it in down here. So I'm going to put 2 in for x. So that gives me 8 plus -4 is greater than 3. 8 plus -4 is 4 is greater than 3. Yeah, that is also true. This has to be the solution because the solution has to be in the shaded region or it has to make both inequalities true. So I am going to go with letter 4 or number 4 for that one. All right, I've been doing a lot of talking. Any questions? You guys are awfully quiet today. Must be a Monday. All right. Next question. Much easier problem. Why? It's already graphed out for us. It says, which ordered pair is in the solution set of the system of linear inequalities graphed below? Okay, so I'm going to let you guys do this one by yourself because there's not a whole lot of work to do in this problem. What should be my answer? One. Okay, let's take a look here. 1, -4. 1, -4 is definitely in the shaded region that overlaps. I agree 100% that 1, -4 is our answer. In this problem, it says which point is in the solution of the system of inequalities? Again, this one should be fairly easy to do. What should be my answer for this one? Letter A or 1 again. I agree. Because if we go -4, -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1 is right there. Definitely in the shaded region. Those are too easy. The other ones that we had to work out, those are a little bit tougher. Which point is in the solution system of the inequalities? Okay, so again. Oh, that's a tricky one. I guess not. I was looking at this first one, 0, 4. 0, 4 is right here. But then again, this is a dotted line here. So if it's a dotted line, it would not be in the solution. So -4, 1, I would agree with. Would be in the shaded region. Which coordinate point is in the solution set? There's a couple close ones for this one, but there's just one real solution. Letter A, I would agree with that. 3, 1 is, I mean, it's real close, but it's in here. It's right there. So it's in the solution set. All right, now, on tonight's assessment, you have to write an inequality for a shaded region. All right, so what is the inequality for each of those? Okay. Now, when you look at a problem like that, and these are on the assessment, these two problems, or these two graphs, so you're getting some answers right off the bat. What is the answer? And this is, I'm going to be pretty strict on my answers, solutions here, because it looks like it crosses right here, and it looks like it crosses right here. So what is the equation for that inequality? And this tests your skill. Can you still write an equation for a linear function? Nobody? Neither of you guys? Okay, so if I was going to write a linear inequality for the first graph, what do I need to know? I need to know the y-intercept. And I'm going to say no to that answer. And I need to know the slope. The slope is 5, right? Because we go up 5 over 1. And the y-intercept is 5. So if I was going to write an equation, it would be y is equal to 5x plus 5. But I'm not writing an equation, I'm writing an inequality. So I pick a point. And that point, I always use 0, 0, because it's the easiest point to use. 0, 0 is in the shaded region, right? So let's just try. I'm going to do y is less than 5x plus 5. Let's see if it makes it true. So if I put 0 in here, 0 is less than 0 plus 5. So 0 is less than 5. Is that a true statement? That is a true statement. So my inequality should be less than. So my answer here should be y is less than 5x plus 5. So you were close with the y is greater than, but if it was y is greater than, it would have been shaded on this side, not on this side. Now the second one, this is a parabola, and it's shifted down 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So y is equal to x squared, minus 4. That would be the equation for the parabola. Equation. It's not an equation. It's a inequality. So that means I have to change my equal sign to either a less than, or greater than, a less than or equal to, or a greater than equal to. So which one is it? So I'm going to try this one. Y is greater than or equal to. I know it has an equal sign on it because it's a solid line. Okay, x squared minus 4. But I don't know if this is true or not. So I pick a point, 0, 0. 0, 0 is in my shaded region. So if it makes this inequality true, I know I have the right inequality symbol. So that would be 0 is greater than or equal to 0 squared minus 4. 0 is greater than or equal to negative 4. That is a true statement. That means that this inequality is correct. Those two answers are on the assessment this week. Okay. And the last type of problem that you're going to see, and this, I believe this is a problem on the assessment again, they might give you more than 2 inequalities to graph. They might give you 3 or 4 to graph. Okay, well, x is greater than negative 1. Well, x equals negative 1 is a vertical line. and it says x is greater than. So it's everything shaded to the left side here. I'm sorry, to the right side. And then I have x is less than 1. Well, that would be this line, vertical line, and it'd be everything shaded here. Now, if I stopped right now, it's everything in between these two lines. But I have a third inequality. X is less than negative x squared plus 6. Well, that's a parabola. Shift it up 6 units, and then it opens down. Uh-oh, why is I wanted green. I wanted a different color. So this is my parabola. Now, where do I shade it? X is less than, so it's going to be below. So my solution is everything between these two lines and below that parabola. So this would be my solution. All right, we still have a half hour. Any questions on any of this stuff? Anything that you want to go through? All right, then you guys have a great week. Hopefully we'll see you back next week. Next week we start with arithmetics, we start with sequence and series next week. Have a great week.